Hey guys, I'm Evan.
I'm Allie.
And we are the Young Folks Writers. We're going to be talking about the first. We've already talked about it. We're going to talk about Gravity a little bit as a recap. We already did a video on it back in October. We have great taste, and we just knew that this was going to get nominated for Best Picture. So if you click
Nobody else would have guessed, just us.
Just us, totally. Alfoson Cuaron isn't totally an amazing director. We've gushed over him over quite a few videos. I'm gonna put the link in under my shirt right here, and you can kind of look at our old video back from October.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I recently rewatched it. It's a little odd. So we actually have a whole list of stuff that Gravity has been nominated for. Also, since the last time we talked about it, just going to throw it out there. Alfoson Cuaron's son, Jonas Cuaron, directed a short film that was released on YouTube that kind of ties into the emotional climax, I feel like, of the movie. And it's a great watch. I can't pronounce the name of it, but I'm just going to put the link there too. Put it in the description.
The big
Gravity.
The big news about Gravity this week, in terms of our Oscar rundown, is the fact that it tied with 12 Years a Slave at the Producers Guild Awards, which kind of put it back into the race. Before it had kind of been like American Hustle and 12 Years a Slave were duking it out, and that everybody assumed Alfoson Cuaron was going to win Best Director, but they thought the movie itself had kind of slipped behind with American Hustle gaining speed.
Yeah.
But now that it tied with 12 Years a Slave, people are thinking, oh, it might now be back into the race. So that's kind of the big Oscar news concerning it this week.
Definitely. And I remember back when we were first talking about it, I was kind of making comparisons how potentially, hopefully, and I feel like it definitely is, maybe even more so, this year's kind of equivalent to what Life of Pi kind of did last year, where it was kind of like the culmination of all these, what makes a great movie, all of those aspects that culminate and just make it an amazing thing, and just the efforts of the director really shine through. So to kind of make some comparisons, Gravity was nominated for a Best Picture, cinematography, directing, film editing, music, production design, sound editing, and sound mixing and visual effects. Life of Pi had the directing, cinematography, score, effects, stuff like that. So that's definitely how I felt about it.
And the reason it might have a bit of an edge, whereas maybe Life of Pi didn't, is that, and I mean, it still won, Ang Lee still won Best Director for Life of Pi, but the thing that I think people are seeing in Gravity, maybe towards the end of the year, where there's been a lot of kind of by-the-book storytelling films like Philomena and American Hustle, is that this kind of is the culmination of the future in film, all in one movie. He presented to us what film can do and what we can strive to do. So I think if it has the edge, that is it. It's the fact that he did something that no one has done before yet.
And that's kind of what makes some of the greatest films. That's why Citizen Kane is still recognized, because of the technical things that it did that no one had ever seen or done before. Talking back to, again, when we were saying the original video, that that 10-minute tracking shot that was multiple shots against a green screen, but it was so seamless and so gorgeous, it sucked you into it, that it doesn't matter whether it's a real full-length tracking shot or not,
Exactly.
And then before, I don't even remember what the score was like.
Oh, I do. Stephen Price has done two of my favorite scores this year with Gravity and The World's End. And
he did The World's End.
Yeah, and Stephen Price's score, which I'm hoping wins, since I doubt anything else really has the edge. Because I don't even think Hans Zimmer was nominated.
Hans Zimmer's all the same every time.
But no, not this year. But no, I think Stephen Price deserves to win no matter what, but especially for the last 15 minutes of Gravity. And if you don't remember, it wouldn't hurt to go back and watch it, just because the scenes, no matter what, are stunning, because as the director and actresses, and they've all said, is that it's kind of this showing an evolution of a human life in the last 15 minutes.
It really is. It's
she fights all the elements. She literally is the last shot of her is literally kind of growing back into a human. And Stephen Price's score just I don't know, it just adds this kind of exciting element to it that I think if it hadn't been there, you would have lost something. And I think that's the best thing about a score, is to not distract, but it adds an extra element that wasn't there previously. And that's why I would love to see him win Best Score.
Absolutely a perfect definition of a movie score that I probably wouldn't have been able to say myself. That, and combined with the sound editing, you know, like before, you know, like the
sound editing is crucial.
It's spectacular, and it really makes you feel like that this truly is in space as best as you can, utilizing any kind of sound whatsoever.
Exactly.
You know, like all these muffled thuds, radio transmissions, and statics and stuff like that. They're like just and like
how like you had to know how it would sound to her and how it would sound to us.
Sure.
You know, we wouldn't hear it, but we could hear the muffled like version of it in her speaker. Like there's all these interesting nuances.
It goes beyond that too. Like when she's sitting in that escape shuttle and she's just talking to this guy over the radio. I think he was speaking Chinese or whatever. She didn't even care that she had no idea what he was saying. She was just so happy to hear her voice.
Exactly. There's all these little things. I don't know. It's one of that actually adds to like one of the few reasons why I am so mad that it didn't get a script nomination, because people think that, you know, a script needs to be dialogue heavy to be worthy of any praise, and the fact is that this character really did go on this huge nuanced character arc, or maybe not that much nuance, but I thought so. I know a lot of people, you know, complain about its simplicity, but, you know, the script is really pretty great, like, but people are going to ignore it because it isn't dialogue heavy and it's action heavy and it's more of a quiet character study than something like completely in depth.
Yeah.
But that was, if there's anything of the movie, and I think the movie got pretty well like catered to in terms of the nominations, but if there's anything that I wish it had gotten, I do think the script nod wouldn't have been bad. Definitely.
Now, do you think that as far as actress in a leading role nominations go, her performance, Sandra Bullock's, is the only one I've seen so far at this point.
I think I've seen all of them.
I think you've seen all of them.
I think it will deservingly go to Cate Blanchett. Mm-hmm. She was my favorite part of Blue Jasmine along with Sally Hawkins, and I didn't really love that film, but the cast was really pretty good. And I think she'll get it. But I think Sandra Bullock's work went a little overlooked this Oscar season because they saw more of a Cuaron vehicle and more of the movie itself is like the spectacle, instead of realizing that she literally carried that movie on her shoulders for the entire time.
She really did.
So I would never complain to see her win, but I know so many people would that it wouldn't even be worth it. It would turn into like
a lot of people
everybody
really just
would be
don't
so
like
annoyed.
her.
It's because she won for The Blind Side where she didn't deserve to, but like I would not mind seeing her get some kind of credit for this film, but she won't. And again, Cate Blanchett did some amazing work in Blue Jasmine, so I can't fault it.
Yeah, there's a lot of politics that go on with this stuff, and we'll talk about some of that other stuff in future videos involving other nominees. So
Yay.
I don't know where this stands in Best Picture, but I think this year there's just been so many great movies put out that, like, I of the ones that I've seen, I can't really argue that, like, you know, that this isn't any less deserving than like some of the other great stuff on the list.
Oh, I would put this towards the top of my list for sure.
Yeah,
it would beat out a lot on the nominees list because some of my favorites are left out. But I think it's going to be a year where director and Best Picture is different. I don't necessarily know how it's going to go, but that's my thoughts.
It was different last year. But
it was different last year,
but that was because it had to be. Sorry, Ben Affleck. All right, guys, we'll see you on the next video where we're going to talk about 12 Years a Slave. See you next time. Follow us on Twitter at TYF Official.
Bye.
Bye.